Okay, I think we're good again.
Where did you guys hear me leave off?
You were like, you took the Xanax,
Respect
somebody
for
gave you
me.
Xanax, and then something.
Oh, I lose a little bit of consciousness, and
Yeah.
I wake up, and there's just like something on my face.
All right. Wait, but we're not streaming, are we?
No, we're streaming. I told you we're starting, baby. I would never lie to you.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it's something. It's all black, and I can't see anything. And it's moist. And
Oh, I remember this story.
you know what I'm talking about. And I heave off of me, and I realize what has been going on. And I scream, and I run from, I don't know if you know San Francisco. It's like from the Mission all the way to the top of the Tenderloin.
Very fair thing. You leaked the call info with your password.
No, I didn't.
People.
What
just
call
shut up.
info?
Those people.
We're not on Zoom.
Yeah, people are just being dumb.
Oh, the password to the Zoom meeting.
Who gives a shit?
Who cares? What, do you guys know how fucking
up,
technology works?
Yeah.
We're not in the Zoom meeting. If you were paying attention to what I was saying, the Zoom didn't work out. We will not be Zooming. We can still see your screen. Yeah, of course you can still see my screen. That's the whole point of Twitch.
The Liz chat was shown?
Oh, it showed the chat between me and you, but it's just links. They can't click the links.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. We don't care. I understand that you guys
annoying.
can see that. Do you understand that every time we stream, like 5 times, I accidentally click something and it shows messages between me and Liz? They are literally just messages to bullshit that we were... like, it was just a link to things. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you go to the link. Go to the link. Join a Zoom meeting with no one in it that will never be in it. I don't care. It's not my problem. Just kidding. I love you guys. But it's, lay off me, all right? The technology is not my thing. Anyways, I run back to the Tenderloin, and I swear I told the story. And my roommate's baby is like looking at me. It's like 3 a.m. It's up, and it's in the hallway. And it's looking at me, and it's like very displeased. It's crying, and I'm like, why is this baby here in the first place? Why is the baby crying?
Oh, yeah.
Looking at me, and I go into the bathroom. I look at my face, and I look like I had just massacred an entire village, covered.
Oh my god.
Covered in, blood. And I took a bath. And that was like the last bath I think I've ever taken. Like 10 years ago.
You never got mustard bath,
So,
did you? Did
I
you get
got
it?
it. No. I mean, all the rave reviews are really making me want to try. I have a bathtub.
You have to get it. Here, hold on.
Everybody's going to get their mustard bath. I mean, do you take a lot of baths? Now I'm here by myself. This is just like last night. I'm going to start playing synth. Do you take a lot of baths, like, normally when you're not trying to... Yeah. Is bath...
Why is the light so crazy?
It's your angelic halo.
It's like blown out.
Yeah,
I
but
hate
it
it.
looks kind of like a Barbara Walters interview.
Anyway. No, I do take a lot of baths, yeah.
I think I don't like fit that great in my bathtub on account of like, being tall.
I need a darker background for the bed.
I don't know, but maybe if I don't have to write like bath products, right? But I always feel like I don't know, it's just like I'm stewing in my own juices.
You need Epsom salt.
I couldn't find it.
Did you get it?
I bought it, but then I put it somewhere. I realized, I've been saying it never came in the mail. It did, and I just didn't know where I put it, and that is still the case today.
Oh, brother.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's, I don't have much time to look around for things these days.
You also, I will say, you have like so many different hiding spots for bath stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of different places to put shit. And so, I don't know, bath thing is...
So
So, I used to take a lot of...
laggy.
Are we laggy?
Liz has been a little. I don't know. It's fine. Well, I think it's okay.
I
all
will
you can
say,
do.
your image on the screen looks a little... Like you're in front
It
of
looks
a...
crazy.
What? Why is it doing that?
I don't know. I'm gonna exit and come back.
Oh, brother.
Oh, great. Yeah.
No?
I mean, I don't know how that'll
I
fix
think
it.
it's fine. People just are like to bitch.
Well, I don't know if anyone's bitching, but I just
Well,
don't understand how it became so bright behind you. Oh yeah,
I know. I don't know why. It's like the stupid camera.
Did you move anything? Just move your computer to where it's less bright.
I don't know how to do that.
That looks better.
Oh yeah, there we go.
It's
I
still
think-
like weird and bright and yellow.
I think you need a little bit of contrast behind you, baby. Are you sitting somewhere other than usual?
No?
But anyways, a lot of people understand that, like, you know, all these like ancient stories about like half horse, half men creatures, about monkey human hybrids, those are based in reality. Like those all exist.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
not-
think Monkey Man exists?
Do I think monkey men exist? Monkeys are men. That's the thing that a lot of people understand. I don't know. I have to keep talking about this. Monkeys should be afforded the exact same rights as human beings.
No, we talked about this already, that we think little monkeys should be bellhops.
Exactly. There are monkey jobs.
You give them a pat.
Podcast producers. Monkeys could easily do any of these jobs. Not you.
Or
you're
like
good.
the boy band.
Did monkeys?
famously.
Did gorillas and monkeys have big penises? You never think about it.
Speak for
I don't
yourself.
want to think about that.
I am right now. I can't picture it. Should we interact with our watchers?
It moves very quickly, so
No, they're saying no.
I think they're talking about the monkeys.
yes.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
so you think Monkey Man? Okay, do you believe in Bigfoot, Maurice?
Absolutely, 100%. And yes, Bigfoot is in fucking
And Sasquatch?
and Sasquatch, but Bigfoot. A lot of people understand Bigfoot is literally in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Like we're not far
Wait,
from
but
Bigfoot.
okay, question:
Uh-huh.
Is Sasquatch just Canadian Bigfoot?
I thought they were the same thing.
No, different. Famously different.
Well,
Explain the distinction.
a Bigfoot.
I mean, I
Bigfoot
just know that
is
there's two different things.
a Bigfoot is a guy, or it's like it owns. It's like a big. There's one Bigfoot.
That's like a proper noun.
Yeah, Bigfoot is capitalized. Sasquatch is a species.
So, but is Bigfoot a Sasquatch?
I'm not a zoologist, man. I don't know. Are monkeys apes? Nobody knows that either. But
But this is the first time I thought a Bigfoot was a species.
no, a Bigfoot.
I thought Sasquatch was a different person. Than
According
Bigfoot.
to this, Wikipedia is trying to tell me Bigfoot and Sasquatch are the same thing. That is absolute. No serious zoologist would tell you that. No serious zoologist will tell you that. A lot of people
Bigfoot
think
is real, and he tried to eat
What
my
about Yeti?
Yetis are Oriental. They're
No, they
Eastern.
live in cold climates. That's the Sasquatch that has evolved in the tundra.
Exactly. What's that? There's that book. I
But I
think
thought the Sasquatch was already like
there's a
up
They live
book.
in
north.
the forest.
Hold on. Gulag Escape book. There's a book by a guy that later became a movie. What's it called? I think it's called The Long Walk. Oh no, it's different. Hold on. Can any of you guys tell me the movie about the guy who escaped from a gulag? Escape from Gulag Yeti.
Archipelago.
No. Oh, The Way Back. They made a movie called The Way Back. The Way Back in that book, written by a guy named Slavomir Rachwicz, sounds Polish. He escaped from a gulag and made it to, I believe, India. In a section, he is traveling through some mountainous, snowy area, and there's like a 2-page long interval where he describes seeing a Yeti. This was like a hugely famous book at the time. The book is called The Long Walk. Yes, the book also mentions the spotting of a pair of Yeti-like creatures in the Himalayas. So, yeah, I mean, why would you ever lie about the Soviet Union? There's definitely Yetis out there. But I've seen some weird shit, man. I don't know. I've seen some weird tracks and stuff like that. It's bipedal something. I don't know. It's you know, I'm not a big cryptid guy because I think they're just regular animals, just rare and harder to find, like certain types of.
When I was a kid, I had this book. It was like, I guess it was like an encyclopedia. I don't remember what the title is, but you know, we used to have like a physical encyclopedia, and I don't know. I was the kind of kid that was real into reading that shit, and it was this one. I just remember that had an entry in it for the Loch Ness Monster, and it had an image. I guess it was like a painting, or like it was, you know, obviously a rendering, but it was like very realistic. It was as though it was an underwater photo of like a plesiosaur or whatever, some shit that looked like this monster. It was very taken up close and in great detail and very striking, but it looked to my child's mind like, I knew that it wasn't a real photo, but it looked like it could have been. Anyway, point is, it scared the shit out of me. I used to think about this photo so often because it really made you feel like the Loch Ness Monster, like this is what it looked like, and like it was bearing right down on you. And I think it really imprinted on me this, like I'm not afraid of the water, but anytime I play a video game where, like fucking Mario 64, when you are in that area where you're just swimming and it's very peaceful, and then that fucking eel, that sea monster comes, that was terrifying to me. When I was like 12 or 13 when Mario 64 came out, and it's like, oh, so great. That fucking water area with that sea monster, I flashed immediately back to that Encyclopedia Loch Ness Monster shit.
This is a very endearing...
That's a very sweet story.
Amazing. I love that you're afraid of the Loch Ness Monster. That's...
Well, because you see it in that, like, black and white...
Okay. Not in real life. Are you a good swimmer, Ethan?
Am I a good swimmer?
Are you? Yes.
I can swim, but I'm not like a, you know, competitive swimmer. I mean, I got my, I got my red band at the swim club, so I could like go in the deep end. I used to go to like, we had like a community swim club, and you had to like qualify. You had to like pass a test.
Would you like? Would you do like oceans and lakes?
Any body of water. You know?
So like, if you go in now, you're not afraid of like.
In the video game.
So.
Well, no, it's more the presence of the sea monster, I think, that is the part that sets off my trauma.
How deep would you go in the ocean then? Because you know those motherfuckers are out there. You hop off a vessel in the middle of the Pacific. There's something down there.
I mean, like diving, you mean, or like out?
Oh yeah, diving.
I don't know if I want to dive. That seems like better left. You know, don't turn over. Let sleeping sea monsters lie.
I would say I too fear disturbing the monsters of the briny deep, but I also believe in Atlantis.
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
I'm with you.
100%.
What's your theory?
Greek island that got, but also they're still alive. Here's the thing: is now that I've had a lot of time to think and to really get in here, while I've been in my house, I realized that like. Basically, everything is real, right? Like, why would they make up myths? Myths are all based in reality, and if they're based in reality, they're real. Like, it's. Hold on, I gotta find you something to. Fuck, where'd I put it?
Well, I can tell you. I think we all know how to get to Atlantis, but first you have to find the Sunstone and the Moonstone, and then you go to Crete, and you put them in the right place, and it reveals the location. You have to steal the Nazi submarine. And you need to get the orichalcum beads and so on and so forth. I'm sure a lot of you know.
You guys know about Drexia?
I don't know what that is. That sounds like an eating disorder.
Drexia was like so it's a Detroit techno group, but in like the second wave Detroit techno, first wave, like early '90s. But the whole thing was built around a myth that during the Atlantic slave trade, that pregnant African women would throw their newborn children into the ocean to save them from becoming slaves in America, so that they had these like African babies had created, it's part of the kind of like Afrofuturist like lexicon, but so they created like an underground like utopian city like in Atlantis that was all like African, the children of African slaves, and it was called Drexia. And if you listen to the music, like it sounds like percolating water. It's all like built into the mythos of the band, and this is like these stories that they're telling. Cool. But it's like 90s Detroit techno. It's good stuff.
That sounds cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, sorry, I'm looking for this thing. This is about Crowley, but there's an MK Ultra.
Crowley.
Everyone's saying Underground Resistance.
Underground what?
That's right. That's talking about Underground Resistance. Yeah, first wave. Thank you. I know. I was right. I haven't like thought about this kind of shit in a long time.
Here, this is something I think you might. This doesn't really have so much to do with what we're talking about, but I've been thinking about this a lot.
What is it?
Hold on. This
is
like
about trying to get close to that so I can see it if you're showing me.
Oh, this is Sinister Forces by Peter Levenda. But it's... Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. No,
oh my god, now people are naming shit.
Naming what?
I have been to Brigade, but I've never been to Demph. But my ex used to play at Demph a lot. I don't know why I'm telling people that.
Your ex used to what?
Oh, like a long time ago, when I was like in all of that shit. You would play at Demph, which was the like big Detroit electronic music fest. I don't even know if it still happens. It's probably totally different now than it was back then.
Cool.
What's that? Yeah. What are you playing through? Just your computer?
Somebody posted a YouTube link.
Oh.
It sounded cool, but I'm not playing it right now. Sorry.
Check this out. In a sense, the Surrealists used artistic medium as weapons in the revolutionary struggle to liberate human consciousness. As a social movement, that is, a movement with the intention of affecting as many members of society as possible, rather than through a slow and arduous process of initiation, they did share a few elements in common with both the psychological warfare officers engaged in worldview warfare and the men of MK Ultra. This just fell out of this book. The Surrealists sought to tap the power of the mind using psychiatry and occultism. Whatever would work, whatever would help them break through the barrier between consciousness and unconsciousness. And in this, they are not very different from shamans, and not very different from the men of MK Ultra. Art, painting, sculpture, poetry, fiction, and even, with Brunel and Dali, cinema, happened to be the medium in which they worked, but Surrealism was born on the battlefields of World War I, blah, blah, blah. The hideousness of that conflict, the first high-technology war using tanks, airplanes, mass communications, and chemical weapons, traumatized a generation. Breton became life as a medical student and worked with shell-shocked soldiers at the front, Andre Breton. Andre Masson, another important surrealist, fought in the war and spent agonizing hours with the wounded, blah, blah, blah. Fuck, no, this isn't the part I was meant to read. Sorry, this is just like, this book has a very, I believe, good section about trying to tap into the area between the consciousness and the unconsciousness, like the collective ones of both. And in that area, sandwiched in there, that's where I think Atlantis is. Does that make sense to me? To you?
Does it make sense to you?
Absolutely makes sense to me. I think that each individual has a consciousness and an unconsciousness, and if there's a binary, there has to be a bifurcation. There has to be a middle area, and that middle area has to have width. Something's in there.
I feel like that's the realm that David Lynch works in, and like that's why I love his work. That he explores that.
You gotta get into the TM, dude. Have you ever done TM?
TM? No, I'm scared of it. I'm like legit scared of TM.
Are you?
Oh my god, it's deeply weird, Liz. I should do TM.
The same guy. What I would recommend is the same guy I was talking about that ex-boyfriend of mine. He grew up on a transcendental meditation commune. Actually. He was like super into it, but I know
you dated a guy who's from a TM family. Okay, they're trying to get you, baby.
Yeah,
but
his family like dealt rare gems. It's very weird. This was a very long time ago. He's nice. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, but I also have other friends who would like regularly practice it. And went into classes at the institutes. There's like a couple schools in LA, or at least there's one like that was really close to my old apartment. And they swear by it. The only thing, as far as I've gotten, is I listened to the audio book of David Lynch's, whatever it's called, like Catching
the Big Fish.
Yes. And it's so great because he narrates it, and David Lynch has just like the loveliest, coziest voice. It's so jarring and insane. I love it so much. But I like highly recommend listening to that. But I have friends that like totally swear by the practice.
What do they get out of it?
I think it's like meditative. It's a way of tapping into kind of a creative space that you otherwise don't really have access to.
Transcendental meditation, that's praxis.
I hate that. Don't do that.
Don't ever do that again.
Just like banish that word. Phase 2, that word doesn't exist in phase 2.
No.
Except for in its like real context.
There's never been a context in which I've heard that word which has not annoyed me and made me think of the person using it as a nerd.
Yeah. Anyway, I think you should try it. I bet you could master it. You're like Jedi mind man.
When the CIA began to unravel the smoking entrails of consciousness, they understood that the artistic community was an obvious medium for their experimentation. After all, didn't novelist and philosopher Aldous Huxley, a colleague of CIA drug experimental and psychic researcher Dr. Humphrey Ormond, who provided some of the drugs that Huxley took, write the seminal manifesto for the drug culture in The Doors of Perception? And didn't the cult rock band The Doors take their name, inspiration, and modus vivendi from Huxley's work? And didn't Jim Morrison of The Doors eventually become initiated into witchcraft? Just pulling at this single thread is suggestive enough. See what happens when we pull out the entire tapestry. I need to talk of Lavenda. I did to the Lavenda. I know some people don't like him, but it's this. This is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about. We gotta. That's why I think it's no coincidence that I started seeing a beautiful Jungian analyst, because I think that Jung is the key that I'm going to use to figure all this shit out. I really think that Epstein, all this shit is it can be solved using Jungian psychoanalysis.
Maybe for future streams we could each bring some different readings to the table. That'd be kind of fun. Just spitballing.
The early anti-Semitic mystics, men like Lanz von Liebenfels and Guido von List, wrote of the seductive charms of Jewish women and the enslavement of Aryan men to those erotic creatures, and of the necessity to reject their advances and to gain control over one's libidos. In this sense, the phenomenon of the Third Reich can be seen as a validation of the occult theories of Bruno and others. Indeed, the attraction of Jung, Eliade, and others to the initial appearance of the Nazi Party is most likely due to this transcendental nature, this occult platform of the party that was so much in agreement with the technologies of the Hermeticists. That's fucked.
The power
baby.
of those Jewish naturals.
Jewish girls do have big old honkers, huh? Why is that?
The chosen people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step outside for a second.
I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm telling
People
you.
are asking you what book you're reading, by the way. Can you be clear?
I told them I'm reading this book. Sinister Forces, a grimoire of American political witchcraft. Book 3, The Manson Secret. The thing is, a lot of you people I know read Chaos by Tom O'Neill. Great book. But you want to get the full, there's a lot of, the problem with that book that the author himself admits to is that there's a lot of unanswered questions there. And if you realize that there's like, a big thing that hurts a lot of people is the fact that we're supposed to account for coincidences, right? Like that's the one thing that like takes apart so many like so-called conspiracy theories is coincidences. And either they're being, it drives us insane because we see too many, or some people can write everything off as just, one big coincidence or anything like that. But if you use the concepts that he presents in this book and other books, you realize that it's basically all magic. No, it's beyond that. I don't really know how to explain it well. I'm trying to formulate it more. I've been taking detailed notes every time I read a book of his, and I'm trying to sort of get my head around all these concepts. But I think if you start looking at things like there being a consciousness and a subconsciousness and then like a sandwich layer in between, I think if you focus in on that sandwich layer, I think that some things happen in the collective subconscious, some things happen in the collective consciousness, but that middle layer is that's like the living dialectic. That's where you can sink your teeth into that motherfucker. Brace explain MMT. I can't. That's too complex for me. Doesn't make sense.
Explain TMNT.
What's that?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The Akashic Field. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, by the end of this, you're going to have a lot of time. I was thinking this. There's a lot of people. I think a lot of people have put the 2-week thing out of their head now that it's been more than 2 weeks. But we got a lot of May 1st truthers that this is going to be over by May 1st. Wrong. I found myself even lapsing into the June group. But no. That means I was playing guitar in Death in June.
Yeah.
No, but now you know what I am.
Where are you at?
I'm a March Violet. No, I'm not. That's a term for Nazis. I'm March of 2021 guy.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be going on until March.
That'd be wild. We'd be in here for Hanukkah. Be in here for my B-Day. I see other people and they're like, "Oh, it's my birthday." They're posting on Twitter. And I'm like, "Whatever, sucker. No one cares." But if it were to be my birthday in here, then that would be like stop the presses.
Yeah, mine's in October. Yeah, I spent a lot of birthdays. It's funny. There was actually like a tradition where like 4 years in a row, I spent every single birthday in some kind of institution.
This would be like an echo of that.
Exactly. This would be like a positive version of that because I could see, at least during those birthdays, I was allowed to call my parents, but like this would be almost grimmer in a way because I would probably be doing like a facsimile birthday on like a Zoom call or something with my friends where they're like, "Hey, I'm drinking a glass of water with some ice cubes in it for you."
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
Yeah, I'm being asked that. My birthday's January 29th, which is, everybody is always like amazed when I tell them this. It's the same as my brother. We have the same birthday, but he's 4 years younger.
That is very weird.
Yeah, but, I'm over it. But yeah, I guess it's surprising. But that's my B-Day. So I'm an Aquarius, which I talked about before, but I saw people asking that again, so whatever that means to you.
Have you ever thought of transcendental meditation?
I think, I don't really know what the transcendental part is specifically. I mean, I've only heard a little bit about it, but like, I think I'm definitely the kind of person who probably should meditate. But every time I've thought about meditating, because I don't know, like my mind is very noisy a lot of times, and all the online shit, like it just amps that up even more.
Very bad for you. Extremely unspiritual.
Very bad. And like I know that it's bad for me, and I talk about how it's bad for me, and I go to therapy, and I'm like, this is bad for me, and I have a hard time just like clearing my mind and like doing a task, and they're like, why don't you meditate? Like, that sounds like a really straightforward solution to the problem that I'm talking about.
No.
Maybe
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Is like, yeah, I'll think about it. Or like, dude, have you ever done it?
Not like in earnest.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You should try it.
Yeah, I know. I will. I just told someone the other day that I was going to, and I meant it. I have a lot of other like really good habits. I'm really good, at like exercising really consistently, and I've been doing that for so long. And I'm always just like, I don't have time to meditate, and then I spend 3 hours lying on the couch scrolling Twitter because
exactly.
I didn't have.
The thing about meditation is it's pretty easy to do quickly too. Like something I do, I haven't been doing it as much lately. Although I keep saying every day I'm going to start again, but I used to do this for a while. Is I would try to do twice a day. I would meditate for 10 minutes, and do it in earnest. And dude, it like that like feeling of sort of like peace you have after you like exercise sometimes, or like. You just have like a good sleep. It's like that there's stuff that it bothers you, but like you can't do anything. You know what I mean? You're like fine with it. That is not always, but a lot of the time when I get out of meditation, it's just like a feeling of calmness. Like that's why people do it. The thing about meditation is there's a reason why so many people meditate because it works. And even if you like just a 10-minute break from thinking, fucking helps. Because that's the thing is like that's the reason we use like Twitter and video games and all that shit is to turn your brain off for a while.
Right.
But you're just literally you're just like looking at something that bothers you.
Right. You're just cramming more shit in there to try to drown out the other shit, which is like, I know that's 100% what I do. I'm like, I don't want to think about like how I'm stuck in this small space. So I'm like, let me look at this portal into another world where I can distract myself with other bullshit, and a lot of that stuff is bad, and it doesn't help, and then afterwards I'm unsettled even further, but it's a different kind of distraction. But yeah, no, you're right. I am committing in public that I'm going to earnestly try to meditate. So we'll see. I'll report back.
Liz, while you're gone, we're out here improving our lives. I'll do that too. Yeah, I'll do that too. I'm going to do 10 minutes tonight. I'll do 20 minutes tomorrow. Two parts.
Okay. 20 minutes?
Well, you do it in two different parts. You do one in the morning. Do it in the morning is really good because it sets you on like a good spot. And then I do it at night before like...
I used to do it in the morning.
Because my thing at night is if I'm looking at my computer or if I'm looking at my phone, everyone knows this. Before you sleep, it's a bad thing to do. What you got to do is you got to be like an hour and a half. You got to be like, I'm done. I'm gonna, and then you start the rest of your night off by meditating, and that puts like a line between you and using like a screen or something. You're like, all right, I use it before this time. After this, I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna masturbate from memory. I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna fold. You know what? I want to feel good when I take off my clothes to go to bed, and I fold them. I fold them instead of putting them on my floor. Rarely do it, but whenever I do it, I feel like a champ.
You're going to be the new Jordan B. Peterson.
He's out.
Did you see the video?
The RC video?
Yeah. It's so weird, dude.
What happened?
Okay, so this video surfaced of him.
His daughter posted it.
Oh, did she post it?
Yeah.
It's like him kind of like wandering out onto like a patio, like with an RC controller or whatever. But he looks like so frail. I mean, he's walking. So I guess he survived his benzo withdrawal, but and his medically induced coma?
I think a lot of people don't understand really what happened there I think everyone knows that he was addicted to benzos, which he got on after his wife's cancer. I think he was just taking them, obviously. because he probably got like freaked out with his newfound fame or something like that. We're not man enough to handle it like me by just purchasing a high-powered
Well, there was
rifle.
stuff with his wife too. Sounds like.
What's up? Oh, I think the
it
wife.
sounds like there was stuff with his wife.
I think the wife cancer thing was fake.
Well, I think the whole family is. I mean, everything I've heard and read and talked to people about is like he's like a very like kind of like fucked up father and husband. Like personally,
I am not surprised by that. Could you imagine being married to that guy?
It's the whole like I like don't even like thinking about it too much. It makes me sad. You know, I feel things very deeply.
Yeah. I'm just like, it must be horrible to be that guy's fucking daughter. But she sucks, I think, in new ways that even he couldn't have predicted. She's a TikTok. The meat thing is so weird, too. I mean, I know that's been talked to death. But it's just like, I have to stop and think sometimes.
We talked about it.
But I just have to think sometimes. Like, that is so...
I moved on to having a cocktail.
But like, so he was trying to get off of benzos, and I don't think his daughter got that, like, you can't just stop taking benzos. They have to titrate you down, and to do that, they give you other drugs, but you're not gonna be on them forever. You're just gonna be on them for a while because if you stop taking benzos all of a sudden, seizure. It's like stopping drinking. Like you can have a seizure and die. And he's like, he's an older guy, so. No one will take you off of benzos without that treatment, right? Except for the clinic in Russia that they found. When they medically induced withdrawals or comas to get through withdrawals are a real thing because it gets you past the physical dependence on it. It doesn't get you past the mental dependence, but it gets you past the physical dependence on it. But that's not a path you want to be taking.
No, it's like really scary. I don't know. I never found him that, like, I never understood the obsession with him being this, like, dangerous figure. Like, all of his, like, kind of weirdo, quasi-Jungian, whatever, like, self-help stuff was pretty innocuous, it seemed like.
Yeah, I think my price problem.
Take your bed, be a nice person. You know what I mean? It's like
my problem with him is
I thought all of it was like totally fine. I'm not surprised so many like particularly young men like flocked to it.
Well, the thing
because it's not like our culture offers. I think at least our culture doesn't offer young men anything other than like what's a very like dehumanizing path. Well, I mean, women as well, but also young. It's less talked about with young men.
I think my problem wasn't so much with the weird, dumb, like self-help stuff because all self-help stuff is literally exactly the same. Whether he's saying it or like it's all like there's only so much advice you can give people. It's just be nice and take care of yourself and like be strong or something.
Yeah, but I think that he was like latching onto this kind of like trying to bring in sort of like mythic narratives in a way that was like trying to, I mean, I think that we like actively have an absence of, I mean, we've talked about this absence of that in our culture, and in our cultural production as well. That like people. That like hero and
and people are attracted to that. I think with him,
particularly because that isn't offered.
I absolutely. I think the problem with him is that he thought he could be a political thinker too, and he was a very, very poor political thinker. But like I agree, I think a lot of people didn't really stop and try to figure out why he was so attractive to people and like what, like, because like my coworkers who were not like political people, right wing or left, you know what I mean? They're just like regular kind of fucking dudes. Some of them liked him, and I think it's because
very nerdy.
Yes, yeah, and I think it's like I think it's exactly that. I think it's the lack of like heroism and like I don't know, this sort of like traditionally like honorable path that people think it's like people think is denied to them or whatever. Like it's just it's not. I don't know how to describe it, but like, I mean, if you live your life day to day in America or whatever, Canada, I guess he's from, you're not afforded many opportunities to be like a hero or to be like strong or anything like that. And you got to be part of this like really deeply sick culture, which he is too. I mean, the guy's like obsessed with fucking Disney and all this shit too. It's like that's all part. You know what I mean? Like but it's like
the thing that you and I always talk about, and I think this is true. Like, I think that mainstream, I don't know what we call it, like left, progressive culture, whatever, is like inherently suspicious of anything that has to do with that.
Yes.
Rather than like to the point where it just automatically says anyone seeking that out is reactionary. Anyone who attaches themselves to or like finds or is attracted to any of those ideas is reactionary. And it's like it's completely it's not just incorrect, but it's like really dangerous to think that way, I think
there's a big push of people who are like, well, being like, I don't know. I think that like, and whatever, this has been talked to death into some areas, but like, I think that like a lot of people on the left have sees what they think are like reactionary values and then does the opposite of them. And then, Liz, are you frozen or just... Oh, no, you blinked. That looked weird. I thought you were frozen and you blinked.
I was frozen in listening. I was listening to you.
I'm really thirsty, so I'm not sure if I'm able to explain this very well. But, like, I think that people see what they see as, like, traditionally, like, masculine values or, like, whatever, the Dragon of Chaos, I don't know, any of that shit. And then they just instinctively do the opposite. And are like, this is bad.
Like,
yeah.
I think I went off on this... to you two, and I don't think this got recorded, but you know how I feel. I think I totally agree with what you're saying, Brace, that people will do, especially, you know, certain leftists or kind of woke types, do this like throwing out of the baby with the bathwater, where they take things that are like that they associate with people that are reactionaries, and they think that those are like intrinsically, they allow those things to be intrinsically, for the reactionaries to own those things, right? So to be specific, like, you know, I think like, it's good to lift weights and be strong, you know, but then it's like, okay, well, if Nazis are doing that, if fascists are like into, you know, this like masculinity of lifting weights, then that means it's inherently bad. It's like, no, we can also do that because it's good to be strong. Doesn't mean you need to, by being strong, you're going to use that to like oppress people or something. It can be good on its own right, but it's like, oh, well, I see people doing that who I don't like, so I'm going to then just like reject these other things wholesale.
Well, I think too, it's like just an easy scapegoat. Like, I don't even think people like go that far to even think through like, oh, actually, I think this is reactionary. They're just like, oh, now I can just call this reactionary, so I don't have to deal with like any of it.
Well, it's like you see people who are like, I mean, you extend it even to those people who are like, work is bad, and like if you value work. Valuing hard work and like industriousness is like is this and this. I mean, there was a while there were people were trying to call that like they were calling it ableist, which is like I don't even know. I can't even open that can of worms because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Because it doesn't necessarily mean like you have to lift something strong or whatever. But like it's just like it's saying it's like It's like, oh, what are you, like a cap? Like that's not how we value things. It's like traditionally socialists actually have put great value on hard work. It's just like, I don't know. I think people try to work out, as always, their own personal problems in a political context, which just drives which is it's ridiculous.
This is what I'm always telling you guys. It's like a perversion of the personal is political, where it's like, you know, the call to action with the personal is political, at least in, you know, in the feminist case, was these issues that women were facing in the home had political solutions. Not my personal problems have inherent political content, if that makes sense. It's different. So it's been completely perverted.
Well, I think it's also like a sort of reaction, or like a symptom of us having no like actual political power, not really engaging in like a serious way, or being able to engage in a serious way, like politics as such, or like the economic system or anything like that. So I mean, it's that's so people just focus on like what they can do as like a person, you know?
Yeah.
Like what if
which
they,
is only for their atomizing, right? Because you can't realize any kind of connections with others if your only route to the political is through the individual.
Yeah.
AKA, you know, right.
Well,
so.
it's you see like people. There's actually funny. There's ironically a good Murray Bookchin essay about this, because he made some criticism of anarchists, which this is after he was like, I'm not an anarchist anymore, blah blah. He wrote an essay about anarchists, which is pretty good.
He has some good writing.
But his he talks about how people basically treat politics as like a spiritual experience to like further actualize themselves, and that's like, you know, a lot of people think that like the left today is like, you know, some outgrowth of like the 60s like sort of petit bourgeois like student left, but it's actually just an outgrowth of like 70s consumerism, where it's like everything is about like you know.
No, that's true. I think like the 90s. I think the like technocrats are an outgrowth of the new left.
Yeah.
The 60s new left. That like the technocrats are the institutionalized version of the new left. And kind of what we're in now, like you say, this like, I actually think it's later than that. I think it's like the late 80s, 90s. It's like the institutionalization of that, which took a kind of like anti-consumerist anarcho character. And like that's what's been now institutionalized.
Yeah.
Particularly through the like academic, like, you know, avenues.
Yeah. It's just
and
like,
so you get formations that aren't actually. I don't know. It's weird. It's like it's, you know, it's all media studies. I mean, you know, when you break it down.
Yeah.
It's like no logo everywhere or something, you know?
I think that's because like that's the sort of realm people think they can most interact with. You know what I mean? Like I can become like
cultural.
Yeah, exactly, the cultural. And it's like people talk about how like the left won the cultural. No, it's just the liberals did. But like it's like that's the only realm that people can interact. I mean, the left too, which are a lot of them are liberals. That's like the only realm people can interact with is by like affecting these cultural institutions, and it's psychotic. Like people, do you know how much fucking left-wing people?
The culture war too is over. I don't know how that will like. I just don't know where those battles would be fought anymore.
I guess.
I mean, it was reaching like absurd. I feel like it was reaching like absurd heights almost right up until Corona.
What do you mean?
You know, it was like just all this stuff about like different TV shows and like using Marvel, and like it was just going into like realms where you're like, this is and that it was like, and it was all manifesting through what like other people have started calling the take economy, which I really like. Which is that it was like, because there was like more and more drive to have like more absurd takes, it was like manifesting in ways that are like, you know, it's like, you know, this is so important that we have this representation in Marvel, whatever, or like, you know, and beyond.
It's so
that
funny.
It was just like, what have we been talking about? I mean, like, you know, I think my favorite point of that is like, you know, Liz Warren saying she's going to have a trans kid approve the Secretary of Education. You're like,
so
what
funny.
are we even talking about
like,
anymore?
Yeah.
Like, it was reaching such absurd levels. You get like, you know, the 1619 Project and a lot of the criticism of how that kind of whole thing, you know, happened. And it's just like, I don't know how we go back to that after all of this, because it just seems so, I mean, maybe we can, I don't know, but it seems so so obviously meaningless when you're looking at what will be
32% unemployment, 40% unemployment.
Yeah, truly.
It's so funny that
I mean, God will go back to it.
All these stupid fucking institutions, all these media institutions, and like because I've been spending the past few days just rereading like those like Vox tweets like don't buy a mask, or like everyone downplaying it's just the flu and all this stuff. It's like the one job that they have, which it should be to be warning us about a coming global pandemic, almost 100% of them biffed it. Nobody got it right except for us. It's totally.
Well, no, the people that got it right are a bunch of people that are not. I mean, there were a bunch of people on the right that did. At least, like, the Silicon Valley people were taking it seriously because they already had their own kind of, like, there's sort of that, like, prepper current in Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
Because they get all into, like, techno,
Well, they're always looking for opportunities.
And, like, protein manipulation or whatever they're doing, And they're always, like, over in China, so they were taking it seriously.
They're always looking for opportunities.
Too, like what you're saying about Vox, because it's like it was almost like it was coming. At least this was my read on it. Is like it was coming from such a like Orange Man, Cheeto Man bad place, or just like contrarian, like oh, don't worry about it, it'll be fine because some people on the right are talking about it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that Trump was.
It's funny.
Just like that's what it was.
I don't even know if it's like because some people on the right were taking it seriously, because I mean, the mainstream right, I think took it just as like they took it even less seriously than like the liberals or whatever. Like and now it's like the big corona deniers too are coming from that realm. I mean, I think Trump's handling of it.
Well, I think.
Like,
which I lump in there.
I think the weird thing is you see like a lot of these people who are big like Trump, like a lot of the sort of like we talked about this before, like the alt-right people who are like big Trump guys, but who themselves are forced to take it seriously because they probably know people that are unemployed right now, as opposed to Trump, who it's like a nebulous concept to him or whatever, or like you can only see it in the sort of like context of his reelection or his legacy, but like it's like seeing them have to like they've all just pivoted into reposting videos of Chinese people like that supposedly show Chinese people like touching too many buttons on an elevator or whatever, because they don't know how to deal with it, because it's like they're watching this is what we were talking about yesterday, these fucking so-called nationalists who like are like just insanely like the most cucked people on earth. And, like, that's the thing is, anyone who was positioning Trump as a nationalist before this, it's absurd. Like, Trump is not a nationalist would, like...
Well, even if he were, he's not in charge. Like, that's the thing that's...
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about with Orban, where it's like, these guys, like, how, okay, well, we were talking yesterday, and you were talking about how they just don't understand that capital is international.
Yeah.
Like, they refuse, and they think they can put it back in the bottle.
Yes, they think they can
repatriate capital.
Not nationalize it in the sense that we mean, but nationalize it in, like, the sense that make it national bourgeoisie instead of...
Yeah, like, repatriate it. Like, just make it... Yeah. But the thing is that capital is, first of all, it's so highly financialized that it's mobile in ways that are not just... Like, it's not just like in a mercantile economy or something where it is...
You have warehouses full of goods over here. Yeah.
It's like completely global in a highly, highly developed financial way, which makes it first of all, insanely nimble, but also just impossible to repatriate in any way without a confrontation. And that's the thing that fucking gets me about these guys. And I just saw someone in this chat said Moldbug knew or whatever, and I just say one thing about Moldbug, because he just published some Medium piece about like what to do about Corona. It's these guys, when you fucking like push comes to shove, they're just fucking technocrats. Like what he wants to do is like freeze like government power because he doesn't like the leadership and he thinks the state bureaucracy is terrible. And that if we just had like Corona Czar, who had a better bureaucracy full of experts, that they could handle the situation better. And it's like there's no difference here between, you know, what he's saying and what the Vox people are saying. These are just two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
They're just liberal Democrats all the way down.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't, look, okay, fine, you want to repatriate capital? Cool. You're gonna reach a confrontation.
And that you don't want.
You cannot prolong it at this point.
And you're like,
it will just...
Liz?
Hello?
Oh, okay, you cut out for a second. What's the last thing you said? Well, that's the thing is like, what... Like,
I said that these guys always sidestep. It's like they call themselves Schmittians, but then they think they can avoid conflict. It's like, no, the whole point, if you read Schmitt, which...
Never have.
But like...
They never will.
I mean, you just read Lenin, in my opinion. Schmitt certainly did. But the whole point is that there necessitates a fucking confrontation. And these guys just sidestep it because they're jokers.
Well, it's like also who would be doing the confronting here? Our government is made to facilitate the flow of international capital. Like, and in some sense regulate or whatever, or at least...
For now, yeah.
But like, exactly. So it's like, well, who is doing the confrontation here? Because the American government is not... There's no will to do that there. There's nobody... Like, that's who's in the government. Like, it is, like, the globalized capitalists or whatever. That's the thing that makes me so fucking psycho about this. Is everybody was talking about... Like, Trump's talking about the globe... Like, it's like... I mean, obviously, that is, like, certain connotations. Not just ones about, like, Jews or whatever. But, like, you know, like, certain connotations about, like, woke capital or whatever. Bill Gates, all this shit. But it's like, they're all like that. Like, you can't be, like, a big-size capitalist and be, like... There's no national bourgeoisie in America. Besides, like, the My Pillow guy.
International.
It's all international. And it's like, that's
the whole thing. And that's the picture. It's not... Because this is what it is. It is the destruction of the nation state as it facilitates micro city states that are managed by international, mobile, and highly financial capital.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're going to be a nationalist...
Trump couldn't close the borders even if he wanted to.
Why would he?
I mean, I read it.
But the
he
thing...
couldn't.
The thing
Finance would not let him.
The thing is like, if you're going to be a nationalist in America, you can't be somebody who wants to bring all the everything home. You know what I mean? You have to, like, okay, that might make sense if you're in like a second world or third world country. That would totally make sense. But if you or even in like France or something, but if you're in America, if you're a nationalist, you have to want America to be the arbiter of all trade and commerce across the world. And so that's why so many of these guys are also like anti-China guys, right?
Right.
Because it's like they see that to be a nationalist in America.
That's like banning.
Exactly. That's why I know. I love that he referred to himself as a China hand. It's like, motherfucker, what, you speak Chinese?
I didn't listen to it yet. I don't know. I probably will. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. I just got, there's a story that came out that, this is on a different subject. I'll talk about it in a second. But San Francisco is about to be doing some pretty shitty things to the homeless population here. But yeah, like that's like what I can't take any of these guys seriously, because if you're a nationalist, like Henry Kissinger's, well, in a way, in a sense, Henry Kissinger, no, he is, because even though his like weird, like, you know, dealings with Israel and stuff like that, I mean, look at what Israel is now. It's an outpost for America. It's a colony of, or not, yeah, it's like an American colony in the Middle East, and that serves the national interest. The national interest being to subjugate the peoples of the world. And it's like America has a different sort of goal and interest than most other countries, in a sense. Just speaking from like a national perspective. And so like you can't be an American nationalist and want capital to be repatriated. You want it to be all around the world. You just want at the end, the final analysis, it to be controlled by American interests.
I just want to say, someone in the comments said there are ways to control capital flight, and I just want to, that is actually my fucking point. The only way to limit capital flight is with a confrontation with the capitalists. And just to, a little history lesson, this is something fucking Lenin learned in the transitional government, because initially he's like, okay, we can convince the capitalists, the factory owners and the capitalists to just like slowly socialize the factories and slowly socialize the profit. And they were like, no, actually, we're going to bounce.
Yeah, bye-bye.
And it's like, yeah, so no, you have to there is going to be a confrontation.
But no, like...
You cannot, there's no, anyway, so, but my whole point is that, and like what you're saying, is these people completely avoid that final question because they don't actually want to be on the other side of that coin.
No, absolutely not. No, especially these guys who are ingratiating the tech sector, like Moldbug is. It's like, no.
He just wants like a more efficient society of bugmen.
Mm-hmm.
Bugman.
Yeah, he just wants
like,
to be...
I just don't know, like, I don't... Yeah, I was, like, reading that Medium piece, and there's, like, a quote where he says...
I'm going to read that tonight.
It's not... I don't think it's anything to... I don't know. I don't know if it's worth anyone's time, to be honest. But he says... he's like, oh, if we pause the stock market, that would end American capitalism. And it's like... It's this throwaway line, and I'm like, wait a second, do you really think that would end capital? Like, what do you...
Wait, a pause?
Like,
what? Wait, say that again.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's like a total misunderstanding. And this is what, like, because there's a lot of these guys that I actually think are quite clever, that I'm like, I don't understand why you don't, like, do you understand capital markets? Do you understand the global financial system? Like, pausing the stock market is not going to isn't going to end capitalism. And that's not what, if anyone was trying to end capitalism, but setting aside what exactly that means, which by the way, it's unclear.
It's just ending it and there's no new system, you just end the old one?
I don't know what he means. And I also, end capitalism is like, analytically, I don't know what that means.
It's nonsense. That's nonsense.
It is nonsense, but it's like, it's just also like, this isn't how, like, it's like, these guys, it's like, it frustrates me. It's like, no, this crisis is baked into the fucking system, you guys. Like, capitalism necessitates the moment of crisis, because it has to shore up it needs to basically destruct so it can shore up new markets to continue the profit motive, right?
Yeah.
This is the cycle of the crisis. So, and each time, and that's why if you read about crisis theory, each crisis is, in succession is closer and closer together, while also exponentially larger, because in between, the result is further consolidation of capital in fewer hands, right? Which only like enables the next following crisis, because as like capital continues, right? Accumulation and the profit, the declining rate of profit, you hit a crisis point. And each time in succession is larger and larger and larger.
So like this,
anyway.
After this, we're going to see like all these companies in the hands of fewer and fewer conglomerates and people. And then the next crisis that happens, for instance, when Nancy Pelosi shows her pussy on TV or something, and the stock market falls apart, that's going to be even less people that it consolidates in the hands of, and then further and further and further.
Well, like how we've talked about so we were talking on the podcast, and we were like, okay, so is Bezos just going to pick up all the slack here in the market?
It's funny though because in a sense, as
But
Marxists, we want that.
Well, but it's not like it's not out of the realm of possibility that we end up on the other side of this with like 4 companies controlling everything, even more so than now. Even more explicitly. Like, think about the banking crisis. We ended. We went. How many banks did we end up with after 2008? We ended up with like 5 banks.
Mm-hmm.
How many are we going to end up on the other side of this? How many? We're going to have, Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Walmart.
But what I'm saying is, as Marxists, we kind of want that for the same reasons that Marx wanted a unified Germany. What'd you say?
No. Someone pointed out some other companies. I was just looking.
But we want that centralization because that makes it a simpler process to transfer of ownership.
Well, that's debatable.
Well,
Depends.
I mean, Marx wanted it.
Something to think through, for sure. Something to think through.
Marx wanted a unified Germany to make the transfer of ownership easier. That didn't work out either.
I know, but it's also you and I have talked about this privately. Just the United States is just a real. Being in the core is a very difficult position to be in for wanting to change.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. No,
there's a reason why the revolution didn't happen in Germany and happened in Russia. Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
And also, there's some theories about also the Spanish flu helped that, by the way.
I'm picking up what you're putting. Now, so we got a little bit of time left. I want to get to this because it just drives me. Jen just sent me this. You remember that shot of the people in the parking lot in Las Vegas, the homeless people? Did you guys see that?
Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm. So awful.
There's
on sleeping mats, and there are markings on the asphalt.
Yeah. Imagine if you were to do that, but inside. Imagine, if you will, if your own Department of Health recommended that every homeless person get a hotel room, which there are over 30,000 empty ones in San Francisco, and instead the mayor of a city with an $11 billion budget says that's financially unfeasible because hotel rooms cost $200 a night, which is not true, especially right now. So now they're
actually, you linked it to me, and I looked up, and I have to say, there's hotel rooms for $40 a night.
Yeah, regular ones. This is what they built in Moscone Center.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep, 360. But the thing is, you're like, oh, well, at least they're off the streets. No. Those are people from shelters that are being put in there. From shelters. So they're being moved out of shelters into one mega shelter where they're all going to live and share the same air. And there is this is from Street Sheet, which is the homeless newspaper. People are given their wristband with their bed number on it and shown to a teeny mat on the floor with a folding chair. There aren't many people staying here yet, but there are going to be hundreds of people all breathing each other's coughs. There are 390 mats. Yes, there are no sanitation stations in there. There is no hand washing stations. As you know, it's a convention center, so there are shared bathrooms. It is psychotic. It's from a worker. Those photos are from a worker at Moscone. These are the bathrooms. I don't think
Moscone is not that big, dude.
I know. I used to do extra work for the sign painters union to take down things there. It's pretty big, but it's not. I don't know which Moscone.
It's not
This is fucking psycho. There's no showers, no plugs for phones. And again, I got to remind people, we have an $11 billion budget. Let me look up real quick. Let me look up. This is always budget of Luxembourg. The budget of Luxembourg is 903.16 million euros a year. Oh, wait, is it? I can't tell. Our budget is bigger than many countries. And we have 9,500 homeless people. It's basically... Jen says, this is extermination. It's I'm not going to quote, I don't know if that gets me in trouble. But this is... this is to get the homeless numbers down. Almost certainly. This is to drive down there. You know that a person in a shelter tested positive for COVID-19, and they didn't test everyone in the shelter. They just moved the people that were directly next to him to hotel rooms and tested them only. But everybody else is still in the shelter. It's totally psychotic. I mean, because being on the street, like, ages you like a motherfucker, too. So if you're 40, I mean, you got, like, the lungs and fucking... It's 6 months on the street will age you years. It's like... It's fucking psycho. I mean, 9,500 homeless people. I mean, this is going to run through them like a fucking plague.
Why can't they just buy the rooms? Why can't the state just eminent domain?
They don't want to.
No, I know.
That's the thing is they can't. They can literally just pay to rent hotel rooms for all of these people, but they're not going to bring the homeless numbers down. There's no other. I mean, the thing is, this is a national, or excuse me, an international health crisis. So you'd think that like budget considerations would be maybe a little leeway towards those. San Francisco, as you know, is a very rich city, but they're not even trying. They're just like, we'll put down some floor mats in the Moscone Center. Fucking 6 feet away from each other. Indoors.
So disgusting.
And no one can do anything about it because you can't go. No, you were not allowed to go anywhere. Shit's gonna start getting weird, guys.
I know. Well, so, we were talking about the arson stuff. Like, here's the other thing. I was talking to an EMT guy.
Ooh.
And he was telling me, like, he was saying that, like, one thing they're worried about are people starting to steal supplies. Like, from
medical
trucks.
supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Like trucks, you said?
Like from ambulances or, other vehicles, emergency vehicles.
Like what supplies specifically did he say?
Well, there's masks, but also just like because people are nuts and they were panicked, like whatever they could take.
Yeah,
you know
I can
what I mean?
see that.
He was also saying that like the thing that worries him is that like the big cities have much more robust emergency capabilities and better trained, whatever. But as this spreads into more like rural areas, they really don't. And like he was saying that a lot, and maybe, young Chomsky, about this, but like he was saying that like a lot of, particularly with like the wildfires and stuff, like a lot of EMT, like task forces, whatever, would basically travel to like different areas. Like if they were in like major metropolitan areas and they needed to go to a rural area, like they could, and they would be like sent there for like, to have better response capabilities. But in this situation, like none of that can happen. And a lot of those rural areas really rely on that as, they don't have the capital to pay, basically, and train these guys. And they just don't have they don't have the equipment.
That's what I'm saying is like, I just don't really get how you could call yourself like a nationalist. Anybody. Or like a patriot or anything and let any of this stuff happen. Like, you'd think the health and welfare of people would like be probably the number one priority.
Well, because their definition of the nation is different.
They're
right?
vulgar economists.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, like, I don't know. We need to get San Francisco on Belton Road.
You know what, though? Careful what you wish for. You want that international city-state. You know that's what we're. I mean, you know that's what it's gonna be.
I mean, I know that.
Singapore. Okay, remember when we were talking to Lee about Bloomberg?
Yeah.
And it's like the Singapore. It's like, okay, London will become Singapore first.
London
then
breed
New
or
York
London the
becomes
city?
London, the city. London is basically, you know, I don't know. The other thing is like Corona kind of throws so much out of the thing is though, is if these cities are like decimated, like if New York City is unrecognizable after this, I don't know. Let's just say there's a lot of people waiting in the wings to come in and like rebuild. And it's not the state.
This is a perfect opportunity to, if you're, for instance, a company that would want to build a smart city. This is a perfect opportunity to.
Yeah, we're gonna have a dual power situation actually, except the other side is gonna be fucking Peter
Google.
Thiel.
Yeah, or Google.
Yeah.
It's like that. That's the thing. Is like, okay, it'll be like that. Like it was like Detroit. Didn't they have that city manager that got put in federally?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like that, except it's like you're like Obergruppenführer from Thiel Capital, who's like, look, all the doorbells are synced up, and all the
Right.
streets, like, yeah, it's
Soho House for all. Not for
yeah.
fully automated state collapse.
This is what I'm saying. We are 100% anti-technology. Fucking hate it. I don't even know how to use most of it. Yeah, I don't know.
Oops, I'm gonna get another cocktail.
You're gonna what?
No, I'm gonna cocktail.
Oh, you are. I didn't know you were having one already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to start like. That's what I'm saying. Is I spent a lot of time basically studying what's gonna happen, and it's like driving me crazy because we don't know.
Yeah. You're we need to go into the Force Cave with Yoda, and that's when you see the vision of the future.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I have visions of the future, but they're all like competing a little bit. So I'm like, I don't know which one's right. But the thing is,
I think that's what Yoda says. Always in motion is the future.
Well, I just got to make as many predictions as possible, and then when one of them comes right, I'll clip the part where I said it, and then use that to get a job at Thiel Capital.
The old Texas
I
sharpshooter.
have to say I've got a pretty good record with predictions.
Liz, you thought Donald Trump was going to be impeached and taken out of office 3 years ago.
No. I called Trump being elected.
Remember the impeachment?
I wish you a merry impeachment.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Remember? No, I don't.
That was a flop. I gotta say, the impeachment thing, total flop.
Yeah.
No one cared.
It was never meant to be anything. It was just, like we talked on the podcast. It's like this shit just like drives up people donating money, doesn't get them mad at the Democrats. It's all theater.
Yeah.
I was saying today in a group chat, I was like, the only way to understand the Democrats and the Republicans is through the WWE.
Yeah. It's just like it's all showboaters.
Like, okay, I sent you that thing today where it's like fucking Nate Silver. This asshole. It's like a memo went out because they're all saying, and Joe Biden and, all these Democrats are saying the same thing, where it's like, oh, we're not going to criticize Trump. We're not going to criticize the way they're handling the corona response because that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to focus on corruption, and we can do that in November. And so it's like, and this is what's happening. People have to understand, like, the elites are consolidating. The ruling class is saying, okay, time to shut down. people are getting unruly. This is a situation we don't really know what's going on. So all hands on deck, we're all in this together. This is what happens, right? There is no difference between these two parties. No meaningful difference.
No, it's crazy. It drives me crazy when people say there is. There's no such thing as a. Why would you ever vote for a Democrat? You fucking crazy? Those guys did slavery. They did it. I would never vote for the slave party. You out of your fucking mind. That's the true brace pill when you'd like be like the parties didn't switch. They just are both bad. I also don't like article. I don't like Republicans either because I don't think we should have a republic.
You're a Whig.
I'm a Whig. Absolutely. Whig. Yeah, no, I'm anti-republicanism. I think it just inevitably leads to tyranny.
I just don't care. I mean, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? I don't need it. Like, it's the thing. It's like politics. It's for the birds. I'm against politics. Right? I'm not third position.
Wake me up when you start the podcast.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? Wake me up when Trump starts a podcast.
Exactly. This is my realm, baby. Trump tries to get into the media sphere. I am the king of all media. Trump tries to get in here. Pajamo! I'll blind him with my light.
Did you say pajama?
I did. Pajamo. That's the noise I make when I blind people with my light. Trump, if this wig wearing game show host president tries to get back into my sphere, if I ever see his lips near a microphone, I'm gonna. I realize it's the most annoying thing I can do. The thing is, I am all podcast now. I think of nothing outside podcasts. I think of Corona. Can I podcast about it? If something bad happens in my personal life, can I podcast about it? If I learn a new skill, such as I don't know, I haven't learned a skill in a while. Can I podcast about it? It's archery, for instance. I'm surprised. I'm surprised everyone watching this isn't just podcasting. It's so easy. Actually, it's very difficult.
Cheers, bro. I'll pause to that.
Also, some people were asking, and I do want to just say, because they were asking about the Nth Room scandal.
Oh, yes.
That we are doing an episode about it.
We were podcasting about that. Also, if you remember a little kerfluffle about...
Everyone wanted me to talk about MMT. I'm not going to talk about MMT.
I don't want to talk about MMT.
This is an anti-drug
every time you
podcast.
talk about it, it gives me the kind of migraine that people with menopause gets. Just one that you know.
Before we started the podcast, I remember I was talking to you about a bunch of this stuff, and then I sent you an email with like 10 links.
Do you know, I tried to
read about MMT.
I tried to read a bunch of those, and I was just like, at some point I was like, I'm just not going to understand this. I just don't get it. But I don't need to. Money's fake, right?
But isn't that the point of MMT?
No, not really. I think the thing that like...
I like when you do that, it's like you're...
I don't know. But I can't get in focus. There we go.
There you go.
My thing with MMT is that I just think that it's like a really good descriptive tool. Like it just really is a good way for you to understand how a sovereign monetary system works. But I don't think that it necessarily leads to any specific prescriptions. I mean, like different people do, different economists do, but like it doesn't necessarily go there, I guess.
I want a command economy.
You want what?
A centrally planned economy that's also a command economy.
Command and conquer economy. Command and conquer red alert.
We're going to need more communism after this whole thing.
Barracks capitalism. I just want whatever it is. I just want Amazon. I just want the person to be in charge of Amazon to be a man who jacked off to the boob thread.
The boob thread. What's
You
the
know it's
countdown?
gonna come back.
Yeah.
I can feel it. It's gonna happen. I think I gave it like 2-3 weeks, and people were like, "Oh, it's just like 2 days," and I was like, "No, we've got way more time on our hands in this to move through this situation."
Wait until like April.
And like something's gonna blow up because remember the boob thread came about because of stuff with Nick Mullen.
He asked for it,
podcast
right?
related.
Or no, it was tits out for Mullen. Yeah.
It's out for Mullen until morale improves.
Yes.
I think was the
Yes.
Something
Well, the
weird
boob
is
memory like
happening.
an elephant.
A boob thread will be the tip of the iceberg with the levels and types of horniness that are currently like burbling under the surface and like some of the dark web channels that I'm tapped into. Let me tell you, the horny invest in horny futures right now is all I'm saying.
Women are losing their minds.
I tell you what. First of all, I need to say two things. Young Chomsky, are you? I just thought a funny thing would be that you're like in dark web menswear forums.
Obvious.
But no, I just realized something. We're like a month and a half out from a pussy thread.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like things that we can't even conceive of, probably. Like like I see like Liz's expression right now. Like things that are going to like you might need to. We'll have to vet content. We're gonna have to make a Liz filter to protect you from it. Is what I'm seeing, what I'm imagining.
Someone pointed this out on Twitter, like today or yesterday or something, because the boob thread has been, it's coming because it's like in the air, but people are talking about it.
So the tip of everyone's tongue.
They pointed out that that the funniest part of the boob thread was that someone just did like full,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the funniest part was people getting mad about it. That was the funniest part. But I do remember that. I think a lot of people joined, like, using that part of Twitter or whatever since the boob thread happened. And let me tell you what. I feel like all those posts are deleted by now, if they're not.
Crying face. No, you can't just post pictures of your boobs on the internet. Haha, boob machine.
That's funny.
Are cock rings safe to use? Absolutely not. Yeah, it's, I did, actually, it's funny you say burr. Because my nipples are like ice picks right now. You know a good trick? Check this out. A party trick I used to do, to fellas only, so don't think it's weird, is you like, check this out. You touch one of your boy's nipples to make sure it's soft. You're like, check this out. Flick them on the nipple and be like, wait 10 seconds. And they bring it back in 10 seconds and it's hard. It's really weird. And they just won.
Wow.
It's magic.
Why is that weird?
Well, I don't know. It's weird to have one that's hard. It's
that's
all of us or none of us usually.
Sounds like a fun, must be a hit at the parties.
Do you know the butt cheek trick? No.
Excuse me?
I'm not sure I do.
No, but it's true. Okay, so boob thread is coming.
Mm-hmm.
The horny levels online, off the charts.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the worst thought pics I've ever seen in my life.
What's a thought pic?
Just like quarantine, like underwear pics. It's like, bro, in normal circumstances, people would be a lot more discerning, I think. It's like no rules out there.
Liz,
no rules.
You follow women on the internet. I follow the men who harass women on the internet. So I don't see any of these.
I've got some thought pics queued up, but I'm keeping them for later in quarantine.
Well, I don't do that, so.
Well, we each have our own ways of coping.
Why don't you have
That's
a dragon
for, private only.
Yeah, that's for my strict my alt where I post 40 dick pics a day. I'm just imagining.
Did you guys ever get into the dark web? Have we talked about that?
Liz, do you think, with all you know about me, do you think I would possibly be able to figure out how to use that?
the dark web. I was super into it.
Tell me about it.
But like back in like, this was back in like, when was this? Like 2010, 2011, right? Bitcoin came out in what, 2011, I think. Yeah, I totally went and like was like trying to check all that shit out. Cause it used to be that you could 2009. Okay, so whatever. But it used to be that you could find the like .onion sites by like downloading. See, people think that I'm not tech savvy, but it's just a bit. I actually know a thing or two.
Not me.
I just keep it under wraps. But you know, you used to be able to find all the .onion sites and like, you know, kind of like master list, go through there and kind of from there map out to find the even deeper .onion sites. Because the whole thing with the dark web is that it would be just like a randomized, you know, like the address would just be like a series of like nonsense numbers .onion. So it was like no way to actually go to it. You had to like find links to it. But you would find like, dude, it was fucking crazy. Like, I think I told you about all the sports betting sites where they just said like, okay, these are the way the soccer matches are gonna go. They would just tell you like, this is the outcome for this match, this is the outcome for that match, etc., etc. There was not just Silk Road. Silk Road was okay. I mean, Silk Road was big. But then the other micro sites where they were selling like passports and naturalization documents, like whatever you needed.
So cool.
Assassins. Then there was like the stuff when I was like, fuck, I can't look at this anymore, was when I got to the like, there were sites that had like, I mean, I think it was real, I don't know. And I didn't really see a lot of it because I got too freaked out. But like hostage videos and shit like that.
Oh, like people kidnapped and torture shit?
Yeah.
Well, that was there was that guy in the Philippines, the Australian guy who like filmed some brutal shit there. I mean, that
there was
shit's
a
totally
lot
real.
of like videos from the Middle East too.
Oh, like beheading videos and shit?
No, like torture videos, I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, it's like, I guess people want to see that stuff. I don't know. It's
No, it's not Live League. I'm saying this was different than Live League, okay?
Well, there was live ones, right?
Yeah, they would do live streamings. I never watched any of this shit, I should be clear. Like, but I would look at different, like, message boards that talked about it. I was just fascinated by the whole architecture of it.
It's weird. I actually know, like, a few people who buy, like, more than, I would say just, like, 3 or 4 people who buy drugs, like, now on the dark web. I mean, I don't know about now.
Yeah.
But it's like that,
like ketamine.
That just, like, was always weird. Psycho to me because it was like, what? That seems so much more risky than just buying it from a guy. Like, I don't know. Or like,
I thought that, you paying in Bitcoin or whatever. It's so dumb. I think people do it just because it feels like cyberpunk or something, rather than it being like in any way easier or more convenient.
I just like, in my view of buying drugs is like, you want to go get them. I don't buy drugs to do them 3 days from now. I buy them to do them now. And
I don't even drugs.
But you know what I mean. It's like, I wouldn't buy cocaine off the. What, it's going to take a week and a half to get here? What if my mail gets stolen? It seems insane. You're like, oh, I got a party I gotta go to in a few weeks.
Pandemic. It's like express shipping.
Well, that's the thing.
I gotta go on there though to get my steroids.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that.
Which
stuff.
is weird because you're already pretty muscular, have a small penis, and a short temper. So I don't even know why you need them.
Who were you talking to?
Liz.
Not me.
I thought maybe.
I know people that have bought steroids through dark web though.
Yeah, that's like how you get them, or like
doing dark web now. I mean, I got it back then, like before the guy got before the Silk Road guy got, you know. But I don't understand it now. It's all feds, isn't it?
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it
you
was
just-
back then too. Not, but like,
Yeah, I know. But I think that now it's like, I guess as a buyer, who care? They don't care about
Yeah.
buyers. They care about sellers. But I just don't know why anyone would sell drugs on there. It seems weird.
I don't know why we would sell
Gotta
murder
come
on
up
there either.
Yeah, you just got to come up to the biggest guy at your gym. That's why all these dudes were always like approaching me at the gym. They're like, "Hey, like, where can I, where I can get some gear? I'm trying to pin some tea, trying to hop on the bicycle." They throwing all the lingo at me, and I'm like, "Look, when you get to the right level, we'll talk."
A lot of guys approach you at the gym, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what they're looking for, but I don't get. Yeah, no, people are always trying to talk to me at the gym, but I'm just laser focused.
Mhm.
That's the thing. I don't let them shake my discipline.
I'll tell you this. I'll pay you $2,000 a month if you turn bisexual.
If I turn bisexual,
Yeah.
what does that mean? What is it?
Take
What
it
are
how
the
you want.
qualifications?
I'll give you this. You can set the terms of it, but you got to be it.
This is like
$2K a
what's
month.
that? This is like the Indecent Proposal sequel.
Well, here's the thing.
That was the guy wanted to. What was the premise of that? He was like, "I want to fuck your wife, and I'll give you $1 million."
No, what is this?
That's the
Universal bisexual income.
good one.
I know Liz wouldn't do it, or I'd ask her. But $2,000 a month. You don't even have to act on it. You just have to be like, I am it.
I just tell people that I'm bi for $2,000 a month.
Yeah, but like a lot. You gotta like mention it a lot. You gotta put it in your
I think-
bio on Twitter.
That seems a little bit like protest too much at that point.
Why would you protest? It's free money.
Well, who puts bisexual in their Twitter bio?
Are you fucking kidding me? Who puts bisexual? Do you know how many people who have just like literally been like, that dude's kind of hot, and then be like, I guess I'm LGBT now. I know dudes
Well, I
like
would do it,
that.
man. Look, I'm cool with the bisexual community.
Oh, I'm
so-
fine with them. We're all good. Believe me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's a demand in the market. You know me. You know I'm a markets guy. You know I'm a markets guy.
Yeah.
And I watched your live stream. A lot of curious people out there.
I don't know what that had to do. That live stream was about synthesizers. There were a lot of requests coming in for that live stream that were not about synthesizers, and I just did not acknowledge those because the synthesizer community doesn't need that sort of drama in it.
Well,
So I'd ask you to.
here's the deal. I on the dark web I made some posts and I said if our fans give me $4,000 a month, then I'll get you to be bisexual.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is a way for us both to make a little extra money.
All right. Well, maybe we can draw something up, but
I'll have one of my cousins.
Jewish accountants.
Yeah, I'll have one of my cousins drop some papers.
I don't like this anymore.
Um,
You're being a bully.
Who
don't
is?
get me started on you, honey.
Right.
I'll give you 2,500, Liz. Listen, I'm trying to.
For what? To be nice to you?
Yeah, well, you should be doing some things for. I'm armpit itched. Armpit itched. After today, we're gonna be partners. Not like you and me. Twitch. No, Liz. No.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I think
I
that
think
means.
we're-
No to me like that. It's not coming from me.
Well, honey.
We're affiliates.
Is that higher than partners?
No, I think partner comes after that.
Can you imagine if like that was the new? That sounds like the next development,
so
like neoliberal marriage.
I've been
where it's
affiliated
like,
with
we're not
this
partners. These are my affiliates.
Well, we've gone on 7 dates. That means we're affiliates. We've seen each other for 8 hours total, and we've had 3 people witness us on dates. That means we're legally affiliated. So I've been affiliated with this chick lately.
That's like polymarriage. You're an affiliate.
You're like, I can't. I'm busy tomorrow night. I have plans with my partner. It's like, oh, who's your partner? Oh, it's Twitch.
Wait a minute. No, dude, check this out. Holy shit. You know my idea earlier for a new app that lets you do digital dates? How about in that app, there is a ranking system. First of all, you can stream them. Dude, no. My idea's just got so much better. First of all, my app that I was thinking of earlier, one of the things is that you do is you can stream your dates. You can stream them.
Like broadcast
That's
them.
Like sick,
and
dude.
monetize them. And after a certain...
That's fucking sick.
This is fucking sick. After 7, you can become... You are an affiliate. Not only are you an affiliate with Belden... Double B Industry... Brace Belden Industries. Not only are you an affiliate with Double B Industry, you are also an affiliate with whoever you went on the date with. You get up to 10 dates, you are a partner. And you can combine this after quarantine is lifted with some OnlyFans type stuff for even further monetization. Dude, I am a Rockefeller. I am Henry Ford in only the good ways. I am... Fuck. I gotta switch. I gotta become a venture capitalist.
The post-corona economy will be called Beldenism.
Beldenism. Exactly.
Well, so, this is like one of like a dating show, right? I mean, that's existed for a long time, but you're kind of taking that idea of a dating show and you're getting rid of all the production costs, right? You're taking out the whole idea of a crew, and you're getting people to be the content creators, which is the entire direction. Like all these sites, right? How do they make money? It's all of us making content for Twitter and Facebook and all these websites. We're making the shit. We're doing the posts that are fucking good posts that people want to see, so people will click on them and go into Twitter, and that's how Twitter makes money. So you're just like, it is in fact an evolution of the kind of capitalist.
Yeah, we're all monetizing ourselves on different platforms. Look at the rise of OnlyFans. Look at fucking Cameo with celebrities. That has been amazing too, because celebrities can't get paychecks now because the industry is shut down. So you're seeing, because I love fucking Cameo. I did, full disclosure, I did buy a guy that I liked, a Cameo of Rachel Dolezal, which was very cute.
Oh, well, you also bought us the Cameo.
I did, yeah. What's his name?
Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Cameo to get back to me about enrolling as talent, so hopefully that'll be soon.
No, but no, you've seen all these celebs flock to Cameo because one, they can't monetize. Okay, so celeb economy. Let me break it down for a second. I know we're gonna log off soon, but I just want to break this down because. Celeb economy and the news rags Us Weekly and People are ecosystem.
Yes.
For getting coverage. But now no one can go outside, no staged, where Chrissy Teigen at Whole Foods, nowhere to be seen. Not in the pages of People.
Yeah, how is People doing?
So Cameo. So you gotta you go to Cameo and you see this influx of celebrities that probably would never have deigned to be on there because it was always D, C, D, F list celebrities. But now, not so much. Because it's not just the money, it's the attention.
Right.
These
Now
people are sick.
Now people like me are getting onto it.
Dude.
More of your...
These are people, I'm saying.
But what is Us Weekly and People doing now?
I don't know. I haven't checked in actually.
It just
I'm sure that many of them are providing content. Okay, wait, but one last thing, celebrities, because I did just mention. Curious. Haven't heard from Chrissy Teigen and John Legend in a while.
You haven't heard from Chrissy Teigen in a while?
And those are extremely online celebrities.
They're still online.
They're very online. Where are they?
I mean, wait, I don't get it. They think they're still online.
I haven't really heard from them, I feel like.
I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think they've been arrested? Yeah, this bitch
No,
is...
I just think it's weird when you see these people that are like extremely online, suddenly in pandemic, go radio silent or go weird.
It is pretty sus.
I think it's sus, yeah.
I mean, I see Chrissy Teigen responding to Yashar Ali right here, which is very sus. Pecked. She says,
Maybe I just have her muted.
I think you might just have her muted because she's saying, I miss you too. And then Come and Go, the gas station, is saying, I miss us. Come and Go.
I have a lot of people muted that I forget about.
I have everyone muted who ever replies to me with something stupid, so just going to put that out there to anybody.
I love a mute. Very non-discriminating with the mute.
Yeah.
I
One strike rule.
Follow, but I mute you.
Yeah, one strike.
Well, guys, I think it's time.
I guess I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
But I'm having some fun.
What's up?
I'm having fun.
Me too, but I gotta eat dinner.
Yeah, I got to eat dinner.
You're supposed to eat before.
I also got
We
to
start at 5.
I'm just kidding.
I got to finish our new episode.
Oh yeah, that's true. He has to finish
Yeah.
editing, and I have to write notes for tomorrow. Dude, I'm
I
telling
know, I
you,
have to do something tomorrow.
that shit is fucked.
Dude, it's so fucked up. And actually, we're going to do this episode tomorrow, but I want to do a separate episode about the K-pop ecosystem. Because that shit is fucked up. And, like, we need to talk about it.
I have on good
But
authority.
actually, new episode coming tonight, right?
New episode
Yes.
coming tonight. A big one, 2 hours.
All about 9/11.
There's also I'll be releasing a 45-minute Brace fan. I've been doing Brace fan cams of our Twitch streams, which is just like our regular Twitch streams, except it's only me and my square for 3 hours, and it's just K-pop over the back while I talk. You can't hear my voice.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, the fans want it, you know. I post it underneath when other people say stuff. All right, guys.
All right, let's go.
Mwah.
I miss you guys.
Let's stop the stream.